Hello again. This video is kind of going to be multi-purpose. Number one, I'm curious to know, how do you carry your EDC? How do you carry your knives and the other things in your pockets, if you carry them in your pockets? And I'm sort of going to show you my EDC. Now, EDC standing for everyday carry. I don't necessarily carry everything here every day. In fact, I tend to switch a lot of things up depending on how I'm feeling or where I'm going. So for example, if I'm going out cycling or I'm in my shed, I'll take my Leatherman Surge. If it's not appropriate, by that I mean if I legally probably shouldn't, I'll probably leave the Surge at home and take a Swiss Army knife. And you know, same with the knives. Sometimes I feel like a traditional, most of the times I prefer like a traditional knife, honestly. But sometimes I'll take a sort of modern knife. A lot of the time, if I can, I do like to take something that's multifunctional, something with screwdrivers, etc. So this is roughly my EDC configuration, although some of these items I don't carry every day, only when I feel necessary. So first off, that's what I want to do, is ask you, how do you carry your EDC? I'm quite fussy about how I do it. I don't like the idea of damaging things. I try to keep things apart to stop them scratching, rubbing against each other. And I'm terrified that I'm going to lose some of my stuff. I mean, you know, being a collector, this stuff's important to me, and as you'll know, it can be costly. Now, some of these things here don't cost a lot at all, but I don't like the idea of losing anything. In fact, I'd be upset even if I lost a single lighter from the pound shop. Maybe that's a tad extreme and ridiculous, I know, but I just hate losing things altogether. So how I like to carry my stuff is, well, we'll start with the wallet, because I don't really carry it often. In fact, I carry it like once a week. I feel no need to carry my wallet like ever, unless I'm going shopping. Unless I know I'm going to the shop, I just don't carry it. I don't feel the need. It's just extra stuff in my pocket. I don't have any cash in there anyway. It's just, you know, a few cards and that's it. And if I'm to be really honest with you, I don't like the idea of carrying identification. I don't want to carry ID. Most of the time I'm not buying age restricted products, so I feel like it's just not necessary, and it's none of anyone's business who I am. If I'm stopped by, let's just say, an authority figure, I feel like it's none of their business who I am, unless I've actually done something wrong, which, you know, obviously I'm not going out of my way to do anything wrong. I keep to myself and I try to be a reasonable citizen, if you like. So obviously all I've got in there is just a bank card, a couple of qualifications. I've got my chainsaw card in there, and I've also got an autism card. But, well, you know, I had said before that I'm autistic, and it's probably in my best interest that I keep that in there. But I rarely carry the wallet anyway. Moving on, my keys, obviously I carry them everywhere. I try to keep things simple. It's got to the point where previously it has been quite cluttered. Now, that's not actually the key that I use. I sort of took my actual keys off because apparently there's a thing where you could do where you could replicate keys, and you know, some of my followers actually know me in person, and I just, privacy is a big deal to me, if you know what I'm trying to say. I'm pretty sure there's a little trick where you could put a coin beside a key and you can actually replicate the key. Anyway, maybe that's just me being paranoid. But the only tool that I actually keep on my key is my Victorinox Classic SD. Now, no, it's not the Classic SD, it's just a standard Classic. Now, years ago I would not have done this, because I hate getting the scratches, but then I got to the point where I was like, whatever, screw it. I kind of want to have a key, a Swiss Army knife on my keys at all times so I don't forget it. Primarily for the scissors and the nail tool, because I hate it when my nails are dirty and sometimes they need cut when I'm not in the house. And I don't always have a full-size Swiss Army knife, so that's just really nice to have. A paracord lanyard, it just makes the keys easier to grab, makes it a bit more visible, and I've got some spare cord if I really need to. And it's all just on a reasonably decent steel carabiner just to keep it all together. So obviously I can clip that onto my belt loop if I want to, although usually I don't, because I'm not an old man and that's an old man thing to do. Usually it just goes in the left the left front pocket of the jeans. 99% of the time I'm wearing jeans. I feel like what you're wearing affects what you're carrying. That usually stays in the back left. This stays in the front left. The only other thing I really tend to keep in the front left pocket is some chewing gum, pretty much all the time, especially when I'm out. I rarely carry money at all, but if I do, usually it's just £5 coins. I don't like carrying a lot of cash at all, and even then I rarely carry anything, so really if I do, that is it. I just don't feel the need to, unless I just really need something to eat, but that's quite rare. Now, this is where things, for me, get a bit more difficult, and this is where, well, this is kind of why I'm making this video. These are the sort of optional things, if you like. So previously, what I would do was I would put my knife on my multi-tool, or both, in my front right pocket, and the Zippo, which I always carry a Zippo almost without fail. Usually it's this one. That usually goes in the watch pocket of my jeans, you know, that fifth pocket on the right. That's where that lives. Now, if I've got my Zippo in there, and my multi-tool and or knife in the front right pocket, usually I've got my phone in the back right. That stops the phone getting damaged, it stops the knives or whatever scratching the screen or scratching the cameras, and for about 2 or 3 years that was fine. That's how I carried my things. Everything was separate, it wasn't too cumbersome. It puts a little bit extra weight on the right, but I suppose I could put up with that until just a few weeks ago, where I was out for a walk and I climbed over a fence, which is perfectly legal to do, by the way. I was just going in another woodland. We've got the right to roam in Scotland, all that good stuff. My phone, which was at the time a Samsung Galaxy A7, was in my back pocket, and I broke the phone because my entire body weight was basically on top of the phone, and you know, a fence, it just broke. So I had to sort of rethink that. So I've now got my phone, when I remember, I'm just so used to putting it in the back pocket, I try to put my phone in my right pocket instead. Now naturally that's, you know, caused me some issues. Try having a full-size phone. I mean, phones nowadays, smartphones, are so big and cumbersome. I mean, they're just mini computers, and the price of some of them. You know what I mean? They can get to funny money, and you don't want your knives or the rest of your stuff rubbing against it, especially when you've got really nice high quality cameras on them, that sort of thing. Obviously I've got a screen protector and a lens protector on my phone, as well as a phone case. But could you imagine trying to carry a full-size phone and your Leatherman Surge, for example, in your front pocket? Yeah, it's kind of difficult to do. So usually, if I can, that's what I'll do. Sometimes I'll put the multi-tool in my back pocket if it's something like this, depending on what I'm doing. But I mean, that's quite heavy. So as of recent, what I have been doing is I would put my phone and something like this in my front pocket, so they're sort of protected. So the knife and the phone is protected. Although I found that when you've got something on a dangler like this for the pocket, it also keeps it away. Although sometimes I will put something like this, the traditional, in with the Zippo. Now as for jewellery or anything like that, I'm not a jewellery type person. In fact, I'm not even really a watch type person. Although I'm really enjoying this Wenger watch. This is one that my girlfriend gave me for my birthday, and it's just a fantastic little watch. I wear that on the right hand side, but again, it depends what I'm doing. If I'm just, you know, going for a walk, just going to the shop, I'll put it on. But if I'm going out to my shed, or I feel like I'm going to get dirty, or I might have to climb over something, I don't. Because like I said, I'm just terrified I'm going to break something. And that is something I really do not want to break. I don't like wearing rings at all, for the above reasons. I find that if I'm lifting weights, it either hurts my fingers or it crushes the ring. Same if I'm trying to do pull-ups. And I like boxing, so I'll sometimes, you know, do shadow boxing or sparring pads in the house when I could find someone that's willing to do it. For whatever reason, no one's willing to hold those sparring pads. If I forget to take off the ring, if I miss and hit the person, which doesn't really happen often, but if I do, well, enough said really. So I don't like wearing jewellery, and also there's another thing, this is probably even more important. I use tools a lot, and it's just, I don't want to have to, like if I'm in my shed, I don't want to have to take the ring off and put it in my pocket. Might lose it, might get damaged, that sort of thing. Don't want to wear jewellery when using tools, because it can be dangerous. You know, you can catch it on the tool, your finger can get degloved. That's just a nasty situation. So I personally just don't feel the need. I don't usually wear necklaces either, although I do have this. This fantastic little neck knife, Black Fox Scal. That's an excellent wee, fairly non-threatening friction folder. I like this one. I've made a video on it before. The reason I like this one so much, well, it was a gift from you know who. It's so small and reasonably non-threatening. It's a safe knife, but I like the plastic handle. I like the plastic handle because it doesn't feel cold against the skin. Some other knives, like the Spyderco dog tag knife, for example, is kind of cold against the skin, and that's just not nice. So anyway, that's basically my EDC setup. This is what I've been carrying as of recent. One more thing, sometimes I will wear something on the hip, but not very often. When I do, again, that's usually on the right hand side. Anyway, that's all. Do let me know how you carry your EDC, because I really am curious. In fact, I suppose really the only other thing, I usually don't like to put my stuff in a bag, because if I put the bag down with all my stuff in it, it could easily get stolen, I could forget it. I'm a really forgetful person. Only exception to that is if I'm going cycling, in which case I take none of this at all with me. I'll take a multi-tool, a Swiss Army knife, those usually go in the cycling bag, and the keys gets clipped to the little loop on my shoulder that's on the bag. That's usually it. So anyway, that's all. Thanks for watching, and again, let me know, how do you carry your EDC? What pocket do you put which item? Do you have, I don't want to say a system because that sounds kind of strange, but I suppose there's not really any other way to describe it. Do you have a system on how you like to carry your stuff? You know, what pocket do you prefer to put your knife in? Do you just like throw your Zippo in with your keys? I'm sure there's plenty of people out there that just, they're not that bothered. They'll throw their Zippo in with their keys and coins. They don't bother if it gets scratched up. I'm not that person. I prefer to have it separate. Anyway, that's it this time. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you later. No, wait a minute, I'm not done. I actually forgot to explain these three. I uploaded that video like 7 hours ago, and now I'm going to have to delete it because I forgot to add these three, because I'm a bit of a unit. Okay, this is the Victorinox Ranger. I like to sometimes carry this with me as well because it's got a great tool set. I like this one over the Huntsman because it actually adds a file and a chisel, as well as another flat-headed screwdriver. And I'll often take this with me when I go cycling, or if I'm planning on going to the woods. That usually will go in the right pocket, but if I'm wearing joggers, I might just put it in the left because I don't carry much when I'm wearing them, or I'll put it in the cycling bag. This one I've been carrying a hell of a lot. You've seen it many times on the channel, unless of course you're new to the channel. This is the Arthur Wright's sheep's foot and the beautiful blue jigged bone. A fantastic UK legal, UK made folding knife. And the last piece right here, I've repurposed this sheath many times. I've had several different traditional knives in there, but right now I've got the Knives and Tools edition of the Pioneer in that lovely blue colour. For whatever reason, the only time I ever tend to carry that is when I go to the shop. I'm not really sure why I've decided to do that, but that's what I've been doing for the better part of the last month or five or so weeks. Anyway, I think that's it this time. Thanks for watching, and again, do let me know your setup.